Welcome into another edition of Tuft Talk, brought to you by Card-Monroe. Thank you guys for tuning in to this new episode, and we appreciate the support of watching the previous episodes. If you haven't seen the previous ones, we just recently had on Charles Monroe, who gave a brief history of the tufting industry, but also how that led into CMC's history. So if you have not checked out that episode yet, please do. And as always, like and subscribe as you do on all your favorite podcast apps. We would greatly appreciate it.
Hit the noti bell.
Not the noti bell again. Not the noti bell. Or actually do hit the noti bell. We need that. So without further ado, gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Doing good. How was your New Year?
I can't complain.
Christmas? Did you get coal or actual presents?
Coal every year. Coal every year. I'm not mature enough to get a present yet from Santa.
I thought this might be the year.
No.
I think it's just a middle child thing.
Well, I can resonate with that.
Yeah. No.
So,
if Santa doesn't give me a present, nobody gets me one. So I've been on a cold streak with presents my whole life.
Well, you can get warmed up with the coal. You see what I did there?
Hey.
Hey. I am a dad, and the dad jokes do prevail.
Well, enough of that nonsense. We are excited for this week's episode to have on Greg Pawson, our CEO. I would say new, but he's been here 2 years now. So
Time flies.
Time flies.
When you're having fun.
Sure does.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, buddy. It's like we're cousins or something.
It's like we know what each other's going to say. Well, welcome, Greg. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me,
glad
guys.
to have you.
I've heard a lot about it. I'm excited. I don't know what that naughty bell thing was, but I'm excited to be here.
Noti bell,
Naughty
not
bell.
naughty bell.
Got it.
We're well behaved here. Do not hit the naughty bell. This is a clean podcast. No, but Greg, we're excited to have you on this episode. We have set you up a little bit. I haven't told you the full extent of what we're going to do this episode, but since you were the one, when you came in, you challenged us to kind of grow our presence on social media, and it was Zach's idea to come up with a podcast. But I've been seeing things go around on the interwebs these days, and the latest social media trend is called Roast Your CEO. So welcome to the roast of Greg Pawson.
Yeah, little did you know. Speaking of roast, Will, I like your pullover, Greg, the automation one. Because normally Greg comes in here with about whoever's football team's winning. that's the pullover he has. We've seen Alabama. We've seen Michigan last year came out a lot. I haven't seen Michigan as much this year.
Oh, they just beat Ohio State. I wore them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he came out and
the one time this year you got to wear it.
Yeah. And let's see. I've seen Auburn. Let's see. We've seen about them all.
Florida.
Florida's come out.
Naval Academy.
Yeah.
But I'm not just making them up. I mean, I went to Florida. I went to Navy. My wife went to Michigan. My son went to Auburn. My daughter's at Alabama, and now my son's at Miami. So
it's diversification.
That's the most diversified bandwagon I've ever heard.
So I think this word diversification is probably going to come up later in the podcast. But anyways.
No, I'm sure people would enjoy that, but we're going to just give everybody a little introduction to Greg Pawson if they haven't already met you. So we're excited about that. And I guess just to start it off, let's just give us a brief background of your previous work experience and then how that brought you to CMC.
Sure. For sure. Appreciate it, guys. I always love to start out with my family whenever I'm talking with folks. And so I'm married to my high school sweetheart now for 25 years, Kristen. We have 2 kids. My son is 23 and he's in graduate school, and my daughter is 20 and she is in undergrad. As far as, my background, I grew up in New York. I wanted to I wanted to be a Marine. My dad was a Marine. I wanted to go to the Naval Academy. So I tried to get in and they told me to beat it because I wasn't smart enough. So I went to University of Florida for a bit, reapplied and was able to get in. And so I graduated from the Naval Academy in 1998. I then went to the Marine Corps and did 10 years. I was a helicopter pilot from 98 to 2008. And then so that was my first career, about 14 years in the Marine Corps / Academy. And then took a chance in the civilian world. We got out, and I got a job in the construction industry and energy. So we built power plants, renewable power plants, solar, wind. We did substations. And so I was with that company. It's here in Chattanooga as well, 14 years. I was able to hold a lot of different positions. So the last, about 5 years, I was president and then CEO. So over that time, we became one of the top solar contractors in the country. We even opened up an office over in Australia and built the biggest solar project in Australia at the time. And anyway, was able to do a lot of fun things. We grew a lot of different businesses. We bought some businesses. And the last piece, we grew the business pretty big, and we were able to sell off to private equity. And so I stayed with them for about a year after that, and then we parted ways, and I took some time off. My wife and I needed a little bit of a break, and so we had a little time to ourselves. And that's when I was introduced through a mutual friend to CMC.
So I'm sure you weren't quite ready to end that time off, but what drew you to CMC as a potential next step in your career?
Yeah, I was looking to see what was the next thing to do. Didn't know what that was yet. We were exploring some different options, and I said if I was ever going to go back in leadership as a CEO of a company, it would have to be people first, right? A caring place, faith-based. I'm a Christian. I wanted to be a part of something that put people first, and so that was number one. When I met Charlie and Louie, and I met the family, the whole team, I saw that was authentic. The mission and the core values were true, and I was going to be allowed from the shareholders and the board to lead, with that caring culture and people first. So that was number one, and that had to be where I was going to go, and I wasn't going to do it otherwise. And so that was first and foremost. Second was CMC is the best in the world. That's cool, right? To join a team that's already the best in the world. So that was exciting for me, and not just in our own mind, like literally the best in the world. So that whenever I got on board and talked with customers, that was the first thing. Is, well, wow, you joined a good team, the best team, and so that was cool. And then the third piece that really fit goes back to what I was saying with the growing the company, diversifying new things. That's what really excites me. From my past business experiences. And so the fact that we wanted to grow CMC and diversify it and take this awesome platform and this awesome culture and bring it into the future, that was the third piece. That it was like God saying, hey, this is where you're supposed to be.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I guess one thing when I hear you talk about one thing that drew you to CMC is culture, and CMC had a strong culture and still does. So, as you come in as CEO, talk about some of the ways that you continue to build on a strong culture. Some of the things you've added since you've been here. I'm thinking of CMC Cares or different things like that. How do you build on that culture of innovation, service?
Sure.
Talk about the challenges of that.
Yeah. So, one of our strategic initiatives, if you will, is we want to be the best place to work in the industry, in the cities, wherever we are. And so that really, there's a lot to that, a ton to that. But to me, three things. Again, it starts with you need a safe and caring environment, safe and caring culture. So that means safe physically, but that's also safe mentally, emotionally, in a caring place where you can trust the person next to you. You can trust that what they're saying is true. You can rely on them when something happens or when you need something. So that culture is number one. You have something like that. That's what everything else gets built upon. The second piece, it needs to be rewarding. Rewarding means something different to different people, but a lot of things that go into that is career progression, that you have growth, that you can use your creativity. You can really have an impact with your decisions and the work that you're doing. You're not just sitting there, doing a checklist or monotonous work. You're having an impact in what you're doing, and you're getting recognized for that. You're getting rewarded for that. Of course, you have the right, pay and benefits that go along with that as well. But that's the rewarding side of it. And then the third piece to that is that you're part of something bigger than yourself. So you have this great culture. It's exciting and a rewarding place, but that what you're doing together as a team is bigger than yourself. So it goes to the mission and what you're doing together. And so when you put those three things together, that's what creates the greatest environment. So much of that is here, was here, continues to be here. We're going to continue to double down on that for every day that I'm here. We've added CMC Cares, which is a program that we put in place that it brings together a lot of things that were already going on. But what we're able to do is we set up a 501c3 so people can give, the company gives, leadership gives, and then even every employee has the opportunity, if they want, to do direct deposit from their paychecks, if they so desire, to build this fund, a caring fund. And this fund is controlled by the employees. So there's a caring team that's voted on by the employees, and those caring team members decide how these funds are used. And there's guardrails set up. 90% is for our employees and their families, 10% is for the community. But it's amazing how many people need a little help sometimes. They'll get into trouble. There's an accident, a fire, someone gets sick. I mean, there's so many things that impact our people, that having a fund set up and not driven by what the executives think, but what the people really believe and want it to go towards. It's really had a great impact, and you can see how amazing it is in this culture already, that in a year and a half time, there's been like over 50 actions, meaning that we've either funded or helped or something, which is amazing by itself. But the fact that people trust the organization and the people and everyone that they're with to come forward when they're having a hard time, it just goes to the trust that's in the organization, how the caring environment really is here. But this is just one more example of how do we, as an organization, support that culture, not just speak about it, but put love into action, right? One of our core values, love, is that's not an emotion, that's an action word. So how are we really doing things on a day-to-day basis to love and care for each other?
Yeah, we had my dad on last episode and talked a lot about the establishment of CMC and just how that went about. And I asked him too, like, establishing a culture, like how do you do that? How do you go about coming up with the idealisms for all of that? And, I think CMC, when you came in, we had a strong culture and strong core values of what we've done and had good leadership. But I appreciate the way that you've kind of put some more tangible actions around that, or not organizations isn't the word, but more tangible kind of setups to it. And I think the two that you've hit on was CMC Cares, which we'll have a further episode on that, podcast episode. Stay tuned. Awesome. Yeah, and has been huge, and one that's like exciting for me to just witness just the employees and the people of CMC that aren't in management leadership to take a hold of and own. But I also think the other thing was just the safety culture that you've brought to CMC. I've telling a little bit of our dirty laundry, but I've always said we were safe, but we were more lucky that we were safe, because it was not that we were going around doing unsafe things, don't hear me wrong, but there just wasn't this great a focus on it that we needed to have. And, you're bringing that kind of leadership to it, and that focus for us has been huge, just of, hey, we want people to go home to their families at the end of the day, and that's the most important thing. And that's loving your people and taking care of your people. Yeah. But go ahead.
I appreciate that. No, yeah. I mean, there's the slight difference is, you can care all you want. You can say, I care about you and I hope nothing happens to you, or, I hope that, financially things work out for you. But then there's intentionality. Right. Okay. Yeah. How are you gonna really? I mean, it's the same. No difference in strategy for a business either. You want to go. You say, hey, we want to go and do X, Y, or Z. Great. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to put in place organizationally to do that? It's not enough just for people to care in their hearts. That's where it starts. But now, what are you doing about it? And so, I mean, that wasn't hard here. Everybody wanted to do it, and everyone jumped in, and it's been so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see, with that as an emphasis, how people have embraced it and how people have taken ownership individually, not just as a collective organization are we putting this initiative forward, but people individually have taken that to heart and have really strived to make this a safer workplace than really every day. They're always looking at it to improve safety. So that's been awesome.
And pointing way back, you're talking about one aspect you want people of enjoying their job is to have the creativity. And, we've always come up with new developments and inventions around here. It's been a lifeblood of this business and the core of this business as far as driving us forward. But I guess the first major one that you were involved with while you've been here was the ColorPoint Sports machine. So, we've done a whole podcast episode on it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's our first episode. My dad touched on it briefly as well. But just from your perspective, love to hear a little just kind of snippet or highlight of what you've thought about that and that development for CMC and just being around on its inception and into the market.
Yeah, well, it's fun. That's number one. Seeing every day, our own people working with it, adjusting, changing, and coming up. Wow, look what else we can do. Look what else we can do. Obviously I wasn't here, but it just makes me think of back when Infinity was invented, right? When it was come up with the Infinity attachment and the different things you could do. And then people figure out, wow, what can we do from that? What can we do from that? What can we do? And that's, I was, talking with one of our customers and we were just brainstorming, going through things and seeing the light bulbs go on in their head with the different, marketing and the different business strategies they could even come up with now with this technology. The excitement on their face, that's what's really fun. So, I mean, I don't even think we really know the extent of what's going to come from this, but this is the first technology, of this type that is going into the turf market and how fast the turf market is growing and what can come from this. Just the industry understanding what technology, what technology can bring, an investment of that sort of, capital, how much impact and benefit it can have. That is just going to, I think, snowball the industry, and being on the forefront of that, as CMC always has been, is really exciting.
Yeah, I think we're all really excited about that, and even it was fun hearing recapping with Charlie because they had the desire to do it so long ago, and just seeing it come to fruition these days. Today, this day and age has been there. Everybody's really excited about it. So
I'm just glad I was able to be here and design it for you.
We've just been waiting on you.
So speaking of being the architect of ColorPoint Sports, no, I'm just kidding. But
for the viewers, that is completely false.
That's not what he says after we're done filming. No, when as we were looking for a new CEO to not only to keep pushing new technology out on the CMC tufting side, like we did with ColorPoint Sports, we knew we needed somebody that could help push us and diversify our business, and not something totally separate from what we're doing, but something that complements well. And I guess it was a year ago, January, that we acquired Card-Monroe Automation, previously Everworks, and you were kind of at the spearhead of that. Talk about kind of what, as you came into the CEO role at CMC, what you saw and what we needed to diversify in, and then how that led into that acquisition.
Sure. Well, let me reemphasize that we are always going to be the world leader in tufting technology. There's not been any diversion from that. In fact, we've doubled down. We put more into the R&D and more investment there and more resources and people, and we will continue to do that. So they are totally separate, but like you said, complement each other. So we're going to continue to drive the tufting world, but we knew that we wanted to diversify industries and services. And so as the first year, understanding the business, understanding our customers and our markets, it became very clear that industrial automation was key to the future of industry, of all industries, and for our customers in the flooring industry and for ourselves. So we, as a team, realized that that's where we wanted to go, and we set out to find the right partner, in quotes, to do that, where we're going to acquire somebody, we were going to build something organically. But we knew that that's the direction we wanted to go. We knew we wanted to be able to offer those services and capabilities to our customers who need that in a big way in their facilities around the world, as well as find a way to get into other industries at the same time. And so we were able to find Everworks. Jeremy is the founder and owner of Everworks, and we were able to work out a great partnership where we acquired that business. We rebranded it Card-Monroe Automation, and they are in Greenville, South Carolina. And their capabilities around controls and automation, their values and their caring culture and creativity, it just fit really well. And so we had the same vision for growth and the future, same vision of keeping them who they are, where they are in Greenville, but also adding to that here in Chattanooga to go after the North Georgia, Tennessee market, and shared vision of how do we combine capabilities to get those synergies to not 1 + 1 = 2, but 1 + 1 = 3, and that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
Yeah, I think just sitting back, kind of watching the acquisition, and it's seemingly gone extremely smooth, which has been awesome to see. But just also, in the going through this diversification phase, I think we all wanted to find an industry where it gave us diversification, but also could speak into the carpet industry where we're currently in and have been for 40 plus years. And I think that's been the cool piece to watch, is just the validation by our current carpet customer, tufting customer base, that, how many of them, I can't tell you how many around the world have said that was a smart diversification. Y'all would have gotten to the right thing. And just the interest that's picked up, because as you mentioned, they all need that automation help through their processes. And I've always said, we've been the best in the world, been really good at everything right in front of and right behind the tufting machine. But we haven't been able to really provide world-class solutions in other aspects of their business, where now we can incorporate those things. So that's been, from a sales perspective, with our current customer base, that's been really exciting to watch that. And we're just in the beginning stages of it, even as we continue to grow those relationships on that side of our customers, and connecting the dots there that we haven't been able to before, and just continue those strong relationships we've already had. So that's been really, really exciting to see, and really excited about the future. And then coming out with other down the road solutions that they're asking us for, that we can then, make their lives easier. So great job by you, Greg, on that one, spearheading it. And it's been fun to watch. And like you said too, I'm just kind of fly on the wall in a lot of this, but just the culture that they have there and the fit that company has been great. Cause I'm not quite sure that's how it always goes, but for us, it seemingly went very smoothly.
It's gone very well. And it's not saying something to me, but the team and the effort that's been put in there, and, them really building onto, the CMC core values and their mission, and, CMC Cares in Greenville now. I mean, building that same culture, and they fit so well. It's that part. It's just exciting to see. It's exciting to see the collaboration with our customers, between the groups, with the CMC and CMA teams just jointly won their first project together using capabilities from both groups. POs in the flooring industry, are for the first time. So all that collaboration is really starting to work. The growth, is tremendous. But what's really exciting is how this fits into the future. Yeah. It's not just business as usual. Everyone has the buzzwords. Everyone knows Industry 4.0 but no one really knows what it means yet, right? But we know it's a journey that we're going into the future. And so what we're building is the team to provide what we call tufting 4.0, right? So our customers not only need tufting, but they need to overhaul their operations over the next 10, 20 years into the Industry 4.0 realm of digitalization and automation and AI. And so why are we only going to provide the tufting machines? Why can't we help them revamp their entire operation from start to finish? And so that's not tomorrow, that's not this year, but we're putting the building blocks in place to have that team. So in the next 10 years, we're able to offer that to the customers. And so that's what's super exciting about that.
It should be in the next 2 years, right? Because it only took you 2 years to build Color Point Sports.
That's true.
So,
well, I just need a little time to start designing again. Yeah.
Yeah. So you hit on it, I think, briefly, but also from, as you said, the automation group headquartered and started by Jeremy Steiner there in Everworks in Greenville, South Carolina. and that's where we're keeping the team there. But speak a little bit about, and you allude to it some, but growing the presence here in Chattanooga within our corporate headquarters here as far as Card-Monroe Automation goes.
Yep. So CMA has a team here now, sales, the area manager, engineers, application engineers. We're adding to the team continuously here right now. But and they obviously collaborate across the groups, but this is a dedicated team for the region. In addition, we've increased the manufacturing of control panels. Okay, so that was a core competency of Everworks, now CMA, but we had the ability to help ramp that up in a big way with our facility here and our resources and people here. So, I mean, the other beautiful thing about the partnership was they had all these great capabilities and great customers, repeat business for a long time, but they were a smaller group and they didn't have the capital or the resources to take advantage of some of that. So we had this great talent, and then our resources we were able to very quickly put together, and the synergies allowed us to just skyrocket the control panel manufacturing. We set up 2 lines here in Chattanooga, which doubled the capacity and then some to meet some of our customers' growing needs. And so just a lot of resources that have been put in here in Chattanooga that are enabling CMA to grow as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a good clarification, because I've had a lot of people say to me, "Oh, so y'all are building robots now?" And I'm like, "No, not exactly. That while robotics are a part of it, it's a more full package integrated solution, and then control panels is a piece of that. But no, we're not building like the next robot to bring you your food in a restaurant or whatever else is.
Take your order at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
No, the expertise is finding solutions to whatever the issue is in a plant. Coming in and saying, this is the process. How do we improve that process and put the controls and the hardware? So whether it's a robot, a conveyor, whatever it is, and the brains, that's really our strength, is the controls, the brain side of that. So developing and designing what that system change or upgrade or integration should be, and then putting the controls in place and putting the hardware in place to make it happen.
Yeah, and they're in some really cool projects. Some of the automotive projects that they're doing are really cool, with testing of different sensors within bumpers and things like that, and building cells to test that. So that's the key piece. I think the automation group is so diversified in what they do. It's not just one specific industry or one specific solution. They're really good at, okay, what's the pain point? What's the problem? And that's where then when on the tufting side, it was really good, because our customers came to us with, hey, we have an issue here. And it could just be of wrapping something in plastic, right? You think, oh, that's simple, but that's something that, if you could come up with an automated solution, it saves a lot of waste and, labor and time. So there's all kinds of different solutions then that we're able to provide. That's been kind of cool to watch from our perspective.
Well, think about this little CMC, Card-Monroe, right? Here in Little Chattanooga, and around the world, you go into any hotel, and guess what? Why they have the carpet the way they have the carpet? It's from us. Now you're going to see football fields, athletic fields around the world totally changed because of new technology and color point sports. And one of the top 3 retailers in the world have a whole new robotic fulfillment process in their plants, due in a big part to us. So, these huge industries, huge organizations around the world, and they're getting benefit from the company and the work that.
So that's a good point. Doing. That's a good point. So I got a question. Now that you've been here 2 years, do you find yourself looking at the carpet when you go in public spaces now? Because once you do, you're fully indoctrinated into our world.
My wife, every time she goes, I know, Greg, I know the carpet.
And
that's a rite of passage.
When you're crawling around on the carpet, that's when you've taken, you just might as well just give up, because you are all in. Because, I'll never forget the Delta lounges, which is really cool. All the Delta lounges in around the world, but I think they only have them in American airports. But they're all with our patented color point technology from one of our good customers. And that's cool to see. You know, you think you're talking about the nicest, best airline in America, and they've picked our patented technology. And every time somebody in my family goes in there with me, I'm always same thing. Oh, gosh. But like, there was one shot that I got at one of them where I could get like down the carpet and get the Delta plane in the background. I'm like, oh, this would be a good marketing shot. So I'm like down on the ground, and I didn't really think much about it. I took the picture and I looked up, and there's literally 3 grown adults looking at me like, what in the world are you doing? So then, I'm like, I've lost it. Like,
this is like the toy store for us.
Yeah, I am all in this carpet business now.
Yeah.
But so like, you just can't help yourself.
No,
so.
and I won't go back to certain hotels too when I go into the rooms and there's no carpet in the rooms. I said, I'm not coming back here.
Yeah, there you go.
This is horrible.
Or you can hear the room above you from people
loud,
walking around above
sticky.
you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Preach.
Hashtag boycott hotels without carpet.
Hey, he's really got on the bandwagon quick after 2 years. I like it. But no, I'm excited, just to see how all this marries together. We already have a lot of synergies that we're utilizing in both places and utilizing here to complement our business at CMC. But what you were talking about, just the future of the possibilities of enhancing what we can offer to our customers that are, honestly asking for it just on tufting machines, let alone the rest of the facility. So I'm really excited about that, and I think our customers are as well. And I think they're very appreciative of the direction and that CMC's headed with that acquisition.
Well, stand by. There'll be additional add-ons in the future, additional capabilities.
Awesome.
We're taking our time, not doing it, not rushing it. We had so much growth with CMA. We're stabilizing all of that, and then it'll continue. So it's an exciting future ahead.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. Just from a kind of macro level, obviously we can't tell all the chess pieces we're going to make, but what's next? What's looking towards the future for the entire? When I say the organization, I mean CMA, CMC, and whatever is to come. You mentioned one of them is kind of industry 4.0. Is there anything else kind of macro level for us to discuss today? Just kind of where we're going from a strategic perspective.
So without specifics, but additional verticals and adjacent capabilities that we're going to add on. We want to own more of our vertical chain and provide more services that intersect with what we're currently doing. So there'll be more of that, and really focus on that Tufting 4.0 and bringing all the capabilities in to be able to change the industry in that way.
Yeah, I think that that's something we're all desiring for. But I really appreciate you especially, but the leadership team as a whole. All that growth, all that. How can we be a better place to work, supplier to the industry? We've never forgotten, and we always remind ourselves that what we're doing on day in day out basis, being the core tufting machine provider and automated solution, that'll never go away. So I think with us keeping that mindset, it's just going to enable our customers to do more and make us a better supplier to them as we move forward. And it's like I said last time, if you take care of the people that you have now, then that and make it a great place to work, then that just spills into your strategic initiatives and growing as well.
I think even the more you talk about it, it is just exciting, the opportunities and capabilities that we're offering to customers and people around at CMC. And I think I probably will speak for Zach and I both on this, that we're excited that you came on board and in the direction that you're taking and pushing CMC to not only to grow outside of our industry, but we got to grow upon what we've built for the last 40 years and grow on that culture, because that culture you can't lose culture, else you don't have a business. And so how do we continue to grow on that culture and expand it to new horizons that we can't imagine? I think you've done a great job of pushing us in that direction, and we greatly appreciate you joining the team and pushing us there.
Thanks, guys. This was fun. I appreciate what y'all are doing. It's an exciting future.
And as always, we appreciate you guys joining us in, and hope you enjoyed the episode with Greg Pawson. And please, I know I mentioned it earlier, but like and subscribe.
Noti bell time.
So just stay tuned. We got a couple more exciting episodes. I know we touched on a little bit here with mentioning CMC Cares. We're going to take a deeper dive into that. And we got a lot more exciting episodes coming up. So thanks for joining us. That's right.